All right. This is how I'm going to be analyzed. Like I said, I don't really like coming to the charts very early. I come in exactly New York session, right? I don't like coming in 1 o'clock. I don't like coming in 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. I come in exactly at my session where I want to trade because I don't want any confusion. Although I used to come in very, very early before, probably as early as 10 a.m., 11 a.m. to be looking at the chart until New York session. It actually helps. It helps actually just looking at the chart without even trying to make any decision because you know it's not even time for you to trade yet. It helps. But then I don't know, I just suddenly stopped doing that for some time now, and it's still working well for me. So I'm going to start with let's start with GBP USD and let's look at the daily time frame. And let me show you what I was able to observe from the daily time frame. If you guys know about the daily bias, there's a what's it called? There's a video I made about daily bias, which means, for instance, let's replay some of these charts right here. Okay. Now, as you can see, this is the high of the previous day, right? This is the high of the previous day. Now, what happened this day was that price broke and closed above the high of the previous day. If you are active in, if you've seen that daily bias video, you know that if price does this, it has generated a bullish bias for the next day, which means you should be looking for buys for the next day. Now, if you take a look at this, now what happened in the next day, if I move one candle to the future, you see that price actually broke and closed above the previous high, which means our bias was correct. Now, if we move this candle to this high again, that's for this very day, we've generated a bullish bias for the next day, which means because we broke and closed above the previous day high, we've generated a bullish bias for the next day again. Now, what happened the next day? Price broke and closed above the high of the previous day. So again, we've generated a bullish bias for the next day again. What happened the next day? Price went to the upside and then came back down to close, which means the bias was correct because we actually went above the previous day high, but then we came back down to close. Before you will see something happening like this, price not going and breaking and closing above, you would have seen a lot of price action. That's why you can see this line right here, which means that there is a resistance point, right? So you should also be watchful of that, not just thinking because the daily bias has told you is going to be a bullish movement. It means that it's just going to be 100% or use the bias as a holy grail. No. So now you see that the bias was correct because we actually went above the high and then we came back down to close. So we have generated what? A bearish bias for the next day, which means we've generated a bearish bias for the next, which means we don't want to see price going up, we want to see price going down in the next day, if probably even come to break this low and close below this low, right? If that's possible. So now let's see what happened in the next day. Okay, price eventually went down, but then it did not come below this low right here. It didn't come below this low, but then you know it came down and then went back up to break and close above the high of that very day. So which means that we've generated a bullish bias for the next day. The bias was correct because price went down, went as low as this. Because for price to not be able to break above this high of this day, it came back down to close, which means price still has some business to do at the bottom side. So the next day, you see how price came this low and then went back up to close. But then the bias was not correct 100% because we were meant to at least come below this low. But then price did not go below this low. It just came this low, then went back up to close. But then it broke the high of the previous day, which means we generated a bullish bias for the next day. Sorry about that. Now let's see what's going to happen. Price indeed went up to close. It went as high as this to close, then came back down inside the range to close, which means that what? Because price failed to close above this high, in the next day, we are going to see price visiting the downside, right? So which means that we've generated what? A bearish bias for the next day. We should see price come below this low right here. And that's what we're looking at now, right? So that's what we're looking at. Because price went above the previous day high, and then came back down to close, it means we are going to be generating a bearish bias for the next day, which means we are meant to be looking for sales today. That's what I can see from the daily bias aspects. That's what I can see from daily bias aspect, which means we are going to be looking for sales today. Now, if I switch to the 4 hours, although we have no high impact news coming out today, you can see that the bullish candles, in fact, the volume in the bullish candles is very weak, right? You can see they are not really pushing high, like it's not really pushing very, very high. If you know about patterns, you know that this is looking like a flag pattern, price not moving bullishly to the upside, like it's in a bullish trend kind of, but then it's now in this flag pattern like this. What you're expecting is for price to, all right, price has been moving up, down, up, down, up. What I'm expecting is price breaking, at least coming as low as this point right here. Right? Price breaking to the downside. That's what I'm expecting from what I can see right here. So that's what I'm expecting right now. So our bias from the 1 hour, our bias from the daily candle has told us that we should be looking for sales for the day, right? We should be looking for sales for the day. So at least price should come below this point because this is the low of the previous day. If I switch back to the 1 hour time frame, you see that this is that low I'm talking about. Price failed to close above this high. So now it has this low right here. Price should at least come below this low right here. So that's what we're looking for. Price should at least come below this low. So for the fact that we are still above that point, we can still be looking for what? We can still be looking for sales right now on GBP USD. So this is what I'm saying. Let me switch to the 1 hour and let's start looking for confirmation for sales. I can't really see any confirmation yet. All right, I can't really see any confirmation yet. So all right. I think I'm still going to have to wait for this 1 hour candle to close, which means we might still have to wait for another 33 minutes because we want to see where this 1 hour candle is going to close. We want to see a bearish engulfing. If possible, price should close below this low right here because we want to see sellers active in the market before we start taking positions, because that daily bias is not an holy grail that is just going to work 100% of the time. You can see that there were some times we expect price to break, it didn't break, it just swept liquidity and then went back up to close or went back to the opposite direction to close. So now we want to see price come down to close below this low right here. If price can close below this point, it's going to show us that buyer or sellers are active in the market, right? It's going to show us that we can start looking for sales because it's a bearish engulfing, and a bearish engulfing actually means that sellers are active in the market. So if we can see a bearish engulfing in the 1 hour, we can then switch to the 15 and start looking for price action that is going to make sense for us to be selling. Probably if price can break below this resistance right here, price can break below this resistance right here, we can then, maybe in the 15, we break below here, we can then wait for a retest of this point and then start selling to the downside. Probably our target for the day, which is this low right here. Can you see that? So actually everything is now making sense. So if we can get price to come down here, although the target is now looking at 21 pips. This is actually a decent target, but then we are still going to leave our target as 30 pips because we know price might still continue going lower for the day. So, but then what I'm going to do is, for me, I normally take my partials at 20 pips. I always say that to you guys. So when price gets to 20 pips, take my partials and then let the other trade run in profit. I can as well just choose to enter for a sale right now and place my stop loss above here, right, which is 15 pips to make 30 pips. But then it's going to be risky because I have not gotten that higher time frame confirmation. I've already gotten a bias from the 1 hour. That's not a confirmation. This is a bias. It means be looking out for this. Look out for a sell, right? But then I haven't gotten a confirmation. Even from the 4 hours, I haven't really gotten any confirmation like that. The 4 hours is still just looking, because if the 4 hours can close like this, it means sellers are very, very active in the market, right? It means sellers are very, very active in the market. So, but then you want to get this 4 hours, because before the 4 hours can close, in 30 minutes, you can see price come back up to this point to close. You don't want that for yourself. right? If you're looking at the 1 hour, you feel like, oh, because price is like this now, you want to start selling. Price can come back up here to close in the next 30 minutes. You don't want that for yourself. So that's why you want to be looking for those confirmations, right? If price can close below here, a bearish engulfing has been found, right? And then what you want to be looking out for is a break to the downside. Probably then in the next 1 hour, we can be looking for a retest of this point, and then we'll start selling to the downside. It's as easy as that. I know this is actually looking like a very decent trade for you guys because the way price is pushing down, but then for me, I am not enticed yet. I want to see my confirmation before I enter, right? So that's just me. So that's all for the GBP USD analysis. So let's take a look at Euro USD. Let's start from the daily time frame. You can see the bias for the day is actually bullish, for this day bullish, and then price were meant to be bullish for this day. We're meant to be bullish, which means price should have broken and closed above, but then price went to this high, came back down to close, right? So which means we are generating a bearish bias for the next day. So if you mark this low, you see that price actually came to this low and then went back up to close. So for price not to close below this low, we generated a bullish bias for the next day. Mark this high. You can see that price indeed went to this high, then came back down to close, right? So price failed to break above this high, which means we've generated the bearish bias for this day, right? Now, this bias has already been completed yet, right? This bias has already been completed because price has already come to this low already. But then we are still going to be working with our bias. As far as we are still above this point, we can still be working with our bias because if you check properly, you see that this point is a resistance point. So it only makes sense to be looking for sales from this point. So yeah, the bias is still active, but then it has been completed. For price to come to this low already, the bias has already been completed. So we just have to look for more trade to support our trade idea. That's for the daily bias. So let's switch to the 4 hours. If there's anything else we can use to work with, because we should be looking for sales for the day, right? So, all right. We have the last up close candle before this bearish displacement to the downside, right? So price has been struggling to go down all this while consolidating. Now, what we are seeing is that in this candle, price went as high as this point to mitigate this green candle, which is another block. I don't know, most of you might not know what the other block means, but then the last up close candle before this displacement to the downside, price was consolidating, which means price is struggling to continue going lower from this point. But then price now went up as high as this to mitigate this candle right here, and now it's very much pushing to the downside. So which means that price has already mitigated this point. So we should be moving as low as probably this point right here. So our target should be somewhere around here, right here, if that's possible, right? So that's what we should be looking at. This is the opposite liquidity we are looking at right here. So yeah. So if I switch to the 1 hour, the consolidation is looking very clear. Consolidated, went as high as this swept liquidity, and now we're going down, right? So as far as price doesn't break, as far as price does not break below this point, we can still be waiting. As I was saying, as far as price does not break and close below this point, right? We can still be waiting for price to, like, if price can still close the 1 hour candle around here, we can still wait for a retest like this to the upside and then a displacement to the downside to our target. But if price comes down to close below this point, right? Let's say for instance, price comes down like this to close. It's going to be like a break and retest, a break of a support, retest of a support that's going to act as resistance, and then displacement to the downside. So it's either one of those two. Is that price breaks and close below these supports, and then support acts as resistance, or then price still remains here. But then because we are having a bearish bias, we are going to wait for a retest to the upside and then displacement straight to the downside. So any one of those two can happen. We're just going to be watching out for the both of them. Especially 15. Let's see. Yeah. So Probably we might still continue going down because what I'm seeing, we have created a tiny 15 minutes fair value gap right here. If price doesn't come and cover it, that might be what price is going to come and fill out before it continues going down. So yeah, let's just continue watching and see what price does. But for now, what we are looking for hasn't played out yet. We want to wait for the 2 o'clock candle to close first. Once that 2 o'clock candle closes, then we can start looking for something that is going to support our trade idea. So let's switch to gold. And we're starting from the daily time frame. Gold has had a lot of volume since. So gold right now, I'm not really going to be relying on the what's it called? The bias candle, right? But then if I want to rely on the bias, which is the daily bias, it means because price broke and closed above this previous day high on Monday, we should be looking for buys. Because price broke and closed above this previous day, we should be looking for buys. And then that actually makes sense because price came as low as this. If we had bought from somewhere here, we should be in profits right now. But then this is New York session. Price did not give us the opportunity in the New York session. If I switch to the 4 hours, let's see. Looks like we've formed the supports below here. Right, because first time price got here, it got pushed up. Price came here, it got pushed up again. So, and then we have a tiny resistance at the top right there. I really need to mark that out. Let's see. Yeah, I have a tiny resistance at this stop, right? So so I'm meant to be looking for probably, and let me tell you, I feel like the bias for this day is actually accurate, right? I need price to at least come this low to give me a buy. Probably come this low like this. And then I will start looking for a buy from this low, probably to the upside. That is what I'm looking at, right? So I still don't know. It all depends on where this 1 hour candle is going to close. I want to wait for this last 4 hours candle to close. Let me see what price is going to do because that's going to determine. But if price closes bullish, then I don't think there will be any need for us to wait for this point, wait for a retest down here. But then if price see at least comes back down to close, then we can look for a sell to the downside and then quickly close our position before price starts reversing to the upside, if that's possible. Let's see. Let me switch to the 1 hour candle for additional confirmation. From what I'm seeing, we are most likely going to be bullish for the day. So I was trying to be sentimental right now. right? I was trying to be sentimental because we're looking for sales on EU and GU. So I was probably expecting them to be a sell again on gold. So although that can still happen, or we will just want to wait for a surprise to come back this low and close. If that can happen, then we can look for sales. But then if not, if price closes at this high right here, then we can start waiting for a retest of a tiny fair value gap or fair value gap in the 1 hour time frame we have right here. We have a 1 hour fair value gap right here. If price can give us a retest after closing at that high, then you can start looking for a buy. If I switch to 15, yeah, probably as a retest of this point, we can start looking for a buy. So yeah, I was going to be sentimental, but no, I'm not going to allow that. Let's see how everything is going to go. We already have a bias for the what's it called? We already have a bias for the daily or for GU, EU, and good right now. So we're just going to be watching. I'm just going to chill and let the 1 hour candle close. Once the 1 hour candle closes, I am going to start looking for the opportunities because by then I'm sure I'm going to have a confirmation on GU. If the 1 hour candle can come down and close below these points, like show us bearish movement, then we can, it's going to be like a break of a resistance, of a support rather, and then wait for a retest to act as resistance to push down. That's what I'm looking for. But then if price doesn't break, it goes back up to close, we might start looking for buys in the opposite direction. So that's for that. Why for EU? We're looking for the direct opposite. Price still has this fair value gap right here. If price can continue going down, with bearish displacement, we can wait for a retest of this fair value gap, and then we expect displacement to the downside. It's going to be like this. So yeah, a little bit below our targets for the day. So probably my start the week descent. Let's see. Ola, how is it going? You're just joining us.
So yeah, man, everything is good. I'm just,
You didn't join early.
yeah, yeah, I didn't join any for some reason. Don't mind me.
Yeah, from what I was saying let me just quickly do. I've explained the daily bias to you, where in the previous day, for price to up, it on Thursday, then Friday, we generated a bearish bias, but then price came low and then went back up to close. So that generated a bullish bias for the next day. And then that bullish bias was completed because price went as high as this high right here, but then came back down to close. For price not to close above that high, we generated what? A bearish bias for the next day. So now
Yeah,
we are looking for a sell right now in this very day right here. So if I switch to the 4, the 4 is going to confirm because if the 4 can close below this point, it's going to be a bearish engulfing. So it's going to be like we are in this, it's going to be like sellers are active in the market already, because from what I'm looking at right here, we are having resistance or support pushing price up. And also if you check what happened in the beginning of the 4 hours, price went as high as this other block right here, the 4 hours other block. Can you see that?
yes,
Before
yes.
pulling
See,
down. And also if I switch to the 1 hour, if price closes bullish or bearish like this, it's going to be like sellers are active in the markets after mitigating that other block, and we are seeing displacements. We'll just wait for a retest of this point, and then we'll start selling. Wait, if you check the 15, it's very active. We have a fair value gap there at this break
oh,
of this let's say this support zone, right? This support zone
yeah,
that pushed price up, right?
and
So
breaker. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Very, very good. This fair value gap is there, the breaker is there, the support is going to turn resistance and everything.
yes,
So that's what we're looking at on Euro USD. We just need this candle close confirmation right here.
yes,
Right. So even this candle close confirmation right here, I think is even going to be enough. If price can give us this close and give us a retest back here, I might even just enter the position for the sell because I don't really have any high impact news today. So most of everything that's going to be happening in the market is going to be based off technicals.
Technicals, yeah.
Same thing is happening on GU. Generated our bias from the daily time frame and is looking like a sell. And then we have a support right here that looks like it's going to be broken. If price breaks this support, we wait to a retest of the breaker or a retest as what's it called, as a resistance, and then we're going to be looking for sales to the opposite side. All right, so why for gold? Gold is kind of giving us something different. We're having a bullish bias for gold because from the daily time frame we have a bullish bias on gold. You can see this was the previous day high. Price broke and closed above the previous day high, which was Friday's high. Friday's high, Monday candle closed above Friday's high. So we've generated the bullish bias for the next day. And now you can see how price came this low right here. Price came this low right here, and now it's pushing to the upside. So the 4 hours candle is going to give us confirmation if we are going to be actually bullish or bearish, right? But then we want to see price at least coming above this candle to close. If price can close above this candle, probably we are going to be bullish. But then if price doesn't, we are going to be bearish. Because if you even check it, see all these bearish candles, tiny bullish candle, bearish candle. So bears might be active. Bears might be more active than the bulls. But then we just want to see confirmation that bulls are active. If price can close above this point in the 4 hours, then we might be looking for buys. But if not, price eventually comes as low as this candle to close, we might be looking for buys or for sales rather. So we're looking for price. If price can close below this, comes back down to close below this, then probably we are going to be looking for sales. So it all depends on what is going to happen in the next 15 minutes. Or it's possible that price might not close above. If price doesn't close below this point, then it's going to probably be a retest of this fair value gap and a displacement to the upside. I don't even know. But then I don't want to be confused because this fair value gap might also be inverted, right? So price will just give us a fair value gap inversion. So I don't know. The price action should be very, very clear. I don't want any confusing price action today. I don't want to be second guessing my decisions. So EU and GU are already looking very, very clear. They're already looking very, very clear. If EU can even give me a retest of this point, I might not even need that 1 hour candle closure anymore. If EU can just give me a retest of that point there, I might just even enter for a sell.
Okay.
Oh, this is EU right here. EU can give us a retest. I might enter for a sell immediately. So let me just be watchful of that. But for gold, I'm still waiting for that 1 hour candle closure. So think I'm going to give out a limit order instead of stressing myself and be giving out execution orders. Mm. But then price is already pushing towards entry. Since you get ready to sell GU, GU is already moving towards the entry point. All right, sell GU now. You can start selling GU now. I'm not going to wait for EU to get to that entry. It's just going to be this is already 58, 2 pips away from that entry. I'm just going to take the risk and put this sell right here. Guys, you can also, or you can wait. Wait, I've not executed yet. Let's see if it's going to get there. Because I don't want this two to start coming back down. All right. You can say EU now. I'll give her the order right now for EU. I'll say EU now. All right, that's it for EU and GU. Let's look at how good it's behaving. And then I'll prepare the full order, send it out. And let's see. But then there's something I'm hoping for. I don't want this pairs to come this high to close. If that happens, then I'm going to be worried. I might just even close. So Series 27113. All right, I think I like the volume I'm getting, or with the rejection I'm seeing right here. Let's look at EU. Like this rejection. You can see what EU is doing. Maybe it might eventually give us a retest of this point when the next 1 hour opens. I don't know. But then why not just give us that retest so that we can just get it off our mind and then start going down? That's one thing I don't like about these pairs that are not very volatile. It's possible you should have just given us this retest of this fair value gap, cover it, and then just start coming down so that we'll just be in profit. But then it's rejecting that point, probably creating room so that it can still push back up again in the next 1 hour candle. So that's all right. Our focus right now is on good. I like how it went above here and then came back down to close, showing us that it is not going above here anytime soon. So probably from here, we can be looking for sales. So the fact that it's not closing above here is actually good for me. In the next 10 seconds or in the next 15 seconds, we'll see. Although I really wanted it to come below here to close, but it is what it is. Probably we were just filling this 4 hours fair value gap right here because we have a 4 hours fair value gap. I see. What is this displacement I am seeing? What is this I am seeing? I never knew there was going to be a news release or something. Why is price pushing down like this? Please, you guys manage your trade. I don't know what is happening. Wow, this is crazy, actually. So sad we are not even in good trade. Should I just call this a day from this push I'm seeing? Wow. Oh my God. I don't even want to see it going back up. Just continue in that pace. I don't know where this push is coming from. Actually, I thought there was not going to be a news release today. Let me check. Yeah, what is the push really about? There's no news release today. Then what's this? Well, it's good because it's in our favor. It's a good thing. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Nah, this is mad. This is crazy. I hope you guys are in this trade. And also, can GBP USD has not gotten to 20 pips yet, so probably I'm going to start taking partials very soon. I just want this push to continue moving down like very, very hard. I like what I'm seeing right now. Me on one standard on this trade. Wow. Look how price is just pushing my directions in front of my eyes, and I still think it's magic. You guys, I don't know what's going on. Well, I think with this, our sell has been confirmed from good. If good can push down here to close, we can be waiting for a retest of some sort and probably start taking the trade. So let's see. I just don't want any retracement back up. We should just keep going down like that. Manage your trade, guys. Um, Close partial, move stops to break even, or probably just do something of any sort that's going to help you manage your trade by yourself. All right. Because I did not expect this push and I've gotten it, but then it hasn't really given us OTP yet, but it is what it is. Oh, I see this target. It might even I don't want to say this. I want to take I should have taken partials when price came here. You know this line I marked right here. I said that if price gets here, I'm going to take partials because this is like the previous day low. So I don't want price to start pushing to the upside from here because price has taken liquidity from this previous day low. It might even start going up, but I still expect it to continue going down. Right. So I was expecting, I was wondering why is the hesitation? Why not just continue pushing down? So I've seen that it's because of this previous day low that's right here. So let's look at gold. Well, it's all right. I still see this pushing down, whether you like it or not. I still see it pushing down, but we just have to be conscious because anything can happen. This rejection, I am not liking it at all. This is why I'm saying you guys should manage your trade because the 15 minutes rejection on Euro USD and GBP USD is crazy. On good, like I was saying, price should break structure to the price should close above here, then come down here and give us a retest. So price didn't close above here, but then it came down to give us this retest, and now that retest is what is pushing price up. So I still expect price to not break, so price can start coming down if that's even possible. Because for price not to close above, well, I everything is still looking skeptical, but let's see what's going to happen. I still expect the sales to come in. Let me send out the full order for GBP USD so I can start looking at gold properly. Just that we almost hit full TP on GBP USD. And I was saying that this point is the best place to put TP, take partials on GBP USD. Should have just been a full trade that just hits TP and then we'll just call it a day. But still don't know what plan GBP USD has for us. But let's look at it. For me, I've already taken partials on this trade and I'm just letting it roll. Let's see what can happen. Okay, now let's start looking at EU and GU. Excuse me. All right. I really should have taken a buy from this point, but I didn't get that 4 hours confirmation. There's one thing that is always wrong with this trading I'm doing. I always want a 4 hours confirmation and a 1 hour confirmation, but then I got a 1 hour confirmation, which is a break above this point, but then I didn't get that 4 hours confirmation. So that was why I should have just, and when price was just pushing down, I should have just taken a buy from here, and then would have been in over 100 pips in profit already. But just not how I trade. I just need those two confirmation, at least for better risk to reward. But then it doesn't really matter. If we can get a break of this point to the upside, we can get a retest right here, and then we can take a buy from this point. It doesn't really matter. We just have to see those confirmations. So we don't have to push things. If you don't see that confirmation, you relax. That's why I didn't take that trade. I didn't get the 4 hours confirmation. But then for what I've seen, the 1 hour has been confirmed. Price came down, filling this fair value gap right here, and now it's pushing to the upside. So if you can see a decent break, we wait for a retest. It's just going to be like a break of a resistance, a retest after support to push higher. That's how we're going to take this trade if that eventually plays out. So let's see. Let's see 5 minutes. I want to see price break to the upside. All these rejections is showing weakness from the side of the buyers. I want to see that break. If price really wants to continue going to the upside, we should see it break and continue in the upside. But then if we see price coming back here to close in the next 10 minutes, it's going to mean that price just wants to go down, but then it just wants to weak a lot of traders out, which is hit all their stop losses before coming back down. So if we see the next candle coming back in here to close, that's in the next 10 minutes, we are coming back here to close, then we are going to be looking for sales, because which is what I was already looking for initially. So if we can come back down here to close, then I'll be waiting for a retest of this point, probably something that price is going to show to us, maybe a fair value gap or something. Then we are going to use that to enter for a sell and target this lows right here. So let's see. We'll see you guys in 10 minutes from now. All right. We've already said that we want price to be going down. Price has come down to fill in this fair value gap, but then that has not been enough to push price to continue going higher. So I feel like I'm going to be selling good from here right now. I feel like I'm going to be selling good from here. Because gold has shown us in the 15 minutes, gold has shown us that it doesn't want to break. It went up to close, then came back down to close, bearish candle. So I want to sell gold from this point right now. So if you haven't already, you can sell gold now. Just a little, don't really risk too much, just risk a little bit because for this day, there's not much volume in the market. I don't want to even risk too much. So I've sold good already. Just risk a little bit, don't risk too much. $40 pips stop loss. I've given her the order to sell good. So good or sold.
Hello, boss.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Please, I have something to say about this gold.
All right.
Please, on my trading view, I drew what do they call it? I drew trend line on it. So like the gold market has hit my trend line 4 times, and now on my trend line showing that now the gold is has broken the trend line. It came down to retest. That's when this fundamental drew it down, that it's left with a very long wick. It came downward to retest the trend line that it has been respecting for about 4 times now. So like mine now, it has already quick me to enter gold for a buy.
Is it this you're talking about?
No, I drew it from the back. That's the top. I drew the trend line on top of it. So if you put your gold now on the 1 hour time frame, you will see the trend line from the back. I wish I can share my screen that showed you here from the top. From the top of this, from the top, I drew it downwards.
Something like this?
Yeah, yes, like that. Come down, come down. Let it touch these two head of these two. Yeah, come down, come back, come down. Yes, you see. So it respected the market so many times that now it broke to retest. So that's what I saw in the market that made me to enter for buy instead. But I don't know. I said I should ask.
Well, like my trading style, I don't normally use trend lines, right? Even if I want to use, it's not going to be probably from the 4 hours or from something like this. It's looking like it's kind of looking like a break actually.
Break and
But
retest. Right? If you go to
if you want to
if you
even
go to
if you're looking for a break, and okay, let me try and use the 4 hours on this.
or you
Let
can
me
even,
try.
if you check the 15 minutes, you even see it well. If you check the 15 minutes, you see it clearly.
All right, relax.
Okay.
If I want to look for a break, I corrected this trend line from the 4 hours. That's actually that the 4 hours has a I think a clearer view of the market than the 1 hour. So it's touching here, and let me try and make it touch here as well. Okay. Okay, I think that's okay. Touch. Now, even in the 4 hours, it still hasn't really broken. It's just price came here to close, and we might be expecting push it down. I don't know. I actually don't know. But then if I switch to the 1 hour, this is not what I will even consider. It is not really a clear break, but then it can be a break, right? It's not really a clear break that has really broken up. Like even the break I'm looking for in a trend line should at least break a structure. Like we have a swing high right here. This break should have come here to break this structure to the upside first to be clear that, yeah, we are going to actually come down and give us a retest. Not price just piercing a little bit outside the trend line, then you call it a break, and then you see price coming back down, then you see that is a retest. No, right? So for me, it hasn't really broken to the upside because price has closed at this top here. It's possible that price will come back down in here to close. And then what will you call that? That price, the trend line was not valid or something. Price has come here and closed outside a little bit. It is not really a clear break. What if price comes back down in here to close? It is not looking like a clear break for me. Although it has broken this tiny structure right here. Price has a structure right here that it broke in the 1 hour time frame. But actually, from what I'm saying, we still have a supply zone at this top right here. Price has broken, but then we have a supply zone that has pushed price down. So this supply zone is kind of holding price from going to the upside. And if you switch to the 15, I can see all these points where price is struggling to continue going up. Like you can see price, it got to this supply zone, it pushed down. It even had to come down to fill in this fair value gap before coming for this supply zone again. But then it failed to break. It's just sweeping liquidity from this high. So I'm expecting price to continue pushing down from here, at least giving me this 120 pips, right? Giving me this 120 pips before even if it want to go up, it can go up. But for now, I feel like price is going to be coming down from here because of the supply zone we have at the top right there. So, yeah.
Okay, I understand. Thank you very much.
As far as price does not come above those points to close, we are still safe. But then if price remains around this low right here, if price remains around this low, there's always a tendency of it continue going to the downside. But then if it comes and close above here, then we have a reason to be worried. So I just hope we are safe right here. We have 1 minute and 15 seconds more. If price can come below this point to close, then I will safely say we can still hold. But then if price is closing above here, then it's going to be war. Let's also price doesn't close above. Okay, I like how price closed. So hopefully it's not going to continue going higher to even want to stop us out. Let's see. I just want price to continue going lower from here because it's actually respected one of my buyers, which was closing below this line. So but then I'm still going to be managing my trade because anything can happen. As I was saying, we might continue going down from here, but from what I'm seeing, it has been respecting what I've been saying so far. All right, not closing or coming down here to close, right? Sweeping liquidity from this high, coming down here to close, not closing back above this line, and then I should be seeing displacement to the downside, right? I don't want to see any hiccup on the way, nothing like distraction to push price up. If price tries to push up again, right, it's stop loss is going to be the next target. So I just want to see it continue going down. If not, we might just get stopped out. So I think that's going to be all for you. You guys just manage your trade, and I'm going to upload this what's it called, the recording of this session, and I'll let you guys know as soon as it's uploaded so you guys can have access to it. So until then, I'll see you guys tomorrow. And also manage your trade. If you see it's going in the opposite direction and you don't like how it's moving, you can close, or you close partial loss, or basically just manage your trade. If trade is moving in profit, you can move stop loss to break even or close partial profits. Just do that, right? So that's for that. Because today, actually not only today, I think throughout this week, there's really no much high impact news release. So most of the things that's going to be moving the market is going to be technicals, and technicals is not going to be as fast as fundamentals. So let's just hope everything goes well.